Good morning. I do believe it's Wednesday the 10th of June. Wednesday the 10th of June, 8 a.m. in the morning, 5 to 8 in the morning. This is our first movement snack of the day, the first 10-ish minutes into the accumulative movement minute bag. Hello, if you're on catch up, thanks for catching up. Well done for catching up. And just imagine it's live. It's really easy to do. You just kind of take your mind off the clock and just imagine it's all live because nothing really changes. So, hello catcher-uppers, but you're not really catching up, it's live. I played a mind game with you there. Do you like that? Okay, so carry on catch-ups, but for now, I do need to tell you that you're not live, but people arriving are. So good morning everyone, who's in the house? Richie Paxton, why aren't you playing golf? You've just crossed the line first, what's going on? Shouldn't you be teeing off or something? Gateshead's arrived, hello Miss P in Wales, Duffy and Ronda's arrived, Northumberland's arrived. Hello to me, hello to everyone. I love that you say morning everyone, chat amongst yourselves. For all I know, you will fire off on private messages now. And just like have me in the background. Do what you want. I mean, take what you want from this. Take what you want. Richie's teeing off at 1. Okay, very good. Just check in, Rich. Just making sure your golf mojo's still intact. And what hat have you got on today? I understand you have about 25 of them. Anyway, it's not about you, Richie Paxton. Movement snackers. Good morning. Hello, Deb. Hello, Dave. Dave's in. Morning, Dave. This is, we're well into week 12, as you know. If this is the first time you've tuned in and you're wondering what on earth is going on, you're in at the preamble, the broadcast, which is about four and a half minutes of chitter-chatter of potentially interesting stuff, sometimes not very, but as always quite amusing on some level. But most importantly, we welcome all the movement slackers that have committed and stayed with us in this mission. Morning Jane, Edinburgh's here, cold here but dry, and we love a weather report in the movement snacks or any kind of headline. This could be a local headline or you could make a headline up, everyone else seems to. Hello Trevor, lawn's cutting today but cloud hope stays dry. Trevor, just the one lawn today or all 5? Hello Gillian, Port Talbot is in. Kaus and I were having a chat yesterday and saying that we think the Port Talbot posse are now a thing. The 3 of you with the 2 Gillians, one with a G, one with a J, and Miss Perry up the valley. We think you're a posse, Port Talbot posse. We think. Come on in, who'd like to join us? Just a couple more minutes of this preamble and then it'll all be over and we can get on to the real stuff. Who's up for moving? How's mojo levels? You can give me a mojo report if you want. Are you still in bed looking at this screen? Have you turned the volume down thinking, can't really face her today? I'll have a look later. Or are you chomping at the bit? Either way, it doesn't matter. Whatever scale you're at, take from this what's right for you. Have a look. Just having a watch is just a great start point. And I might trigger a thought, I might plant a seed. That means you take one of those things from this session and it creeps into your day. Got to start somewhere. So either tell me or just, something in my ear. Always happy to get a mojo report. And the post that I put up this morning is all about motivation, affectionately known as Mojo. Raining in Coventry, thank you Dave. Hello Bolton, Bolton's in. Now on the subject of motivation, and you know we're a multi-talented team here at LLT. You've had Kelsey's Vogue, you've had Dave Shorts and his multi-talented cat, and Dave's 321, which isn't quite so talented. We like to go out of the way sometimes, these little things come in here. So I have written you a song today. It's an original song. You won't notice the tune, the theme tune at all. I'm just going to build up my part and get you eager for that song, and then I'm going to launch into the movement snack. Bob's got his mojo working. You're not buffering, Bob. Hello, Dublin. Morning, Vanda. Blimey, Julie, you've been to Asda already. Okay, so fair bit of movement activity all going on. Just before we launch into the movement snack and my original song, think about where you're going to sit, where you're going to stand. AD's in. Good, AD, you'll get the original song. The collective's in. This is good too. I'd like the collective to hear the original song. And way back, maybe about in week 3 of this movement snack, we kind of launched a non-competition. It was a non-limerick competition, and you really responded. We had quite a lot of limericks that were very humorous, and we enjoyed very much. So are you ready? I've got a song, an original song for you. It might take off, I don't know. If you think we could progress it, and then we're going to get straight into the snack. Ready? This is called Building Up a Part. Circ boosts and head turns and side bends in positions. Knees ups and buttercups and jockey lifts with mittens. Side steps and biceps and heel raising things. These are a few of my favourite things. What do you think? It's that original song. Will it work? Maybe you can go somewhere with that. Thankfully, I won't give up my day job. Ready, steady. Pick your position, please. Sit or stand. Let's go on the movement snack. Stand or sit. You know the score in standing. Some of these positions are going to challenge your balance to a lesser or greater degree, potentially. We don't want that to happen in this movement snack. We want to focus on mobility. So have a secure external support close to hand at an appropriate height for you. And we start all movement snacks with some circulation boosting. Here's the standing option, please, folks. Weight even across both feet. Check that you have got a gap between your feet. Stand up a little bit taller than you normally would. And then let's start the rhythmical march, and then we'll pick through the posture prompts from that. Continue with external support. That's going to give you a little bit more confidence and allow you to move more freely. It's early, you may have only just got out of bed, so this circulation boosting now should be gradual. It should feel comfortable, rhythmical and even. Continue with that in stand. Start to think more about lengthening and opening, and just gradually work through improving the movement in standing postures. Here's the seated. Lift and lengthen, hip walk. Bring your feet with you. And then bring them back a little bit and then lengthen out tall. We can either start from the bottom end up or the top end down, whichever is best for you. It's gradual, it's steady. We may feel a little bit stiff first thing in the morning, so ease your way through these movements. And this seated circ boost is all about ankles, feet and toes. It's this that generates the knee raise while staying here, and then we can bring in a coordinated one or single or double, whichever is appropriate for you. You may decide just to focus on the upper body for this. Either way, we're looking for even, rhythmical, smooth movements that are gradually going to start to just notch up the heart rate a little bit. That's what a circulation booster does. It increases the circulation, increases the blood flow, does magical things to joints, muscles and our body system. So at the end of a minute or a minute and a half, you should have the feeling that you want to take a couple of deeper breaths, but you're not breathless and you're not out of breath. So here it is in its entirety. It's that smooth, it's that slow, and we're thinking about quality ranges at the shoulder, ankles, feet and toes, and loads of support coming from the centre. A couple of deep breaths, deeper breath. So keep that steady, keep that gradual, especially first thing in the morning. We will intersperse a little bit more of that as we go through the mobility movements. But for now, let's start on the base of our upper end triangle. I'm going to start with either some shoulder raises, or if you feel you can, after a couple, progress that into the shoulder rolls. In standing, continue to use supports if that's going to give you more confidence to lift and open. In seated, it's the same. You choose either straight up, straight down, or mix it up. Just start with a couple of the shrug actions, and then after one or two of those, can you build that into a bigger range of motion? And in total, 3, 4 or 5 of these, 6 or 7. If you do one and it doesn't feel very good, you kind of, oh, okay, scratch that one, let's do it again. So the point is, we don't want to do load. We don't want to overcook this. Can you see? It's slow and deliberate and trying to get the most as I possibly can from that movement. And you may feel that you want to do single sides perhaps, if you feel that you have limitation on one side more than the other. Take a pause. So we prepare the shoulders and the upper back and the shoulder blades. This better serves now to come up the line to neck and head movements. So here is the head turn. And if you've only just joined us, or if you've been with us a week or so, this morning routine hasn't changed. It's exactly the same, pretty much. Maybe order things are different, but there's some key themes here and it's the same, and that's because this is all we're looking to do in this morning routine, is get all the body parts, all the moving parts that you're about to use in your day moving. And we very rarely take these moving parts through all of their fullest potential. It's quite tricky to talk about something else while I'm turning my head. I'm multitasking here. So can you see, end of my nose stays pointing forwards. I've got this little pause in the middle. That's significant. That actually re-establishes and allows me to lift a bit taller, ensure that the head turns aren't causing me any dizziness. So this is the other reason why it's slow. If you're doing this one in stand, best to have some external support. If you're doing it in sit, make sure that all the posture points are still there. So moving parts and supporting parts, they work together. Third one of the top end trio, turns me sideways. Staying on this upper trio of shoulders, shoulder blades and neck. It's our head movement back here. So we just a finger touch here just to help guide that movement, or it may feel that you want to use that just to ease it back. And can you see the head is repositioning back? The feeling is if you have a pillow behind your head and you're just squashing the pillow backwards. It may feel like a small movement. That's okay. It really depends where your kind of habitual, shall we say, head position is. And start small, keep it small, or ease it back into position over time. 3, 4 or 5 of these, all on this lifted posture. That is significant. So we need everything underneath and around the movement to also be in its best possible position. So if you feel that you start to slump or sag in the middle, stop everything, have a slump, have a sag, and then restack and reposition. Okay, that's the top end done. Could we inject a little bit more circ boost, steady, rhythmical, and start to think even more about ankles, feet and toes. So can you see I've got my white socks on, especially. Heels come up first and toes go down first. And you're trying to find the whole of the foot, find your feet, folks. And it's this ankle action that brings this knee up. Keeping the gap between, bringing the arms in, or you may prefer to be still and then just focus on the upper body here. It's definitely coming from the shoulders here, allows us, we can really start to increase those movement ranges. Exactly the same in chair. Upper alone, or bringing the hands together, you might want to guide those arms back. A couple more deep breaths. It's like a little magic injection. As we progress through this movement snack, you're going to feel better and better, or at least you should do. So nothing should be uncomfortable, nothing should be painful. Make the movement slower, have more rest and recovery. if that's what you need. Your pace, the best pace is your pace. This bit here, the trunk, the torso, the centre, the centre of our moving universe, shall we say. I'm going to start with some turning today, I think. So coming down to sit. If you're going to feel slightly balance is challenged in standing, come down to sit, make the most of this movement, and you may even decide to get the movement in place, do a couple in sit, and then perhaps come up to stand and do a couple in stand. Start to bring this action into standing activities if you feel ready, whilst using support. Anchor feet, anchor buttocks. You might put in an extra buttock squeeze here. Can you feel the sit bones? Lift and lengthen, and then start the gradual controlled turn. Here's the key prompts. I turn and I come back. I keep it moving, so mobility moves. I turn into the movement and come back. Pause in the middle. You may want to have a release or a rest or recovery, whatever you want to call it. Up, 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 up. Grow again and then turn. It moves in and out. You are in control of that whole movement. It's slow, it's guided, it's smooth, and your buttocks stay in contact with the chair. In standing, because we're turning, because the head's turning, because the biggest part of the body, the centre is turning, a wider position will help with your balance, make you feel a bit more confident, and also really get your supporting parts tuned up, shall we say. Here's the turning stand. Little fingertip touch here can help. And can you see that the head and the turn, everything is as if I'm turning around, looking over my shoulder. Any activity that requires glancing to the side or behind is going to require this as well. Driving is a key one, seat belts, and in and out of chairs, on and off the floor, in and out of bed, moving and mobilising in bed really needs this trunk activity, as does walking to a certain degree. Second movement in the trunk trio is we're going to do side bends. This one also may challenge your balance, so use support. Best to be in front of you so that you can have the support at appropriate distance, so that when you take the bend, actually that external support is still in the best place for you. Here. Let me turn this way so you can see. I'm slightly wider on the feet. My knees are unlocked. All that length still in the centre, so the posture is lifted before I take the bend and I come back up. That kind of elongated and just comes from the days where I and come back to reinforce the fact that it keeps moving. That's just a Bexism, sorry. And come straight back up. So don't dwell on it. I'm not looking for you to stay down there. Continue with those 3 or 4 or 5, see how you feel. Same in sit, as I go down and I come back, even weight across your buttocks, nothing changes. You may want to add a little reach out in there. I'm not as specific about where your fingers and hands need to be, because quite often when we side bend we need to go somewhere, we need to grab something. So if you want to start to bring in the hands with this side bend, do what you feel comfortable. Perhaps most importantly is to feel that you're coming back with ease. If you're not, don't go down so far. So it's smooth, down and back again. Did I do enough? And back again. Do you think I did enough of that? Okay, have a release, have an adjust in the middle, whatever you need to do to set yourself feel confident and comfortable. Here's the third one of the trio, back extensions. Even weight, close to some external support, can really help us understand what our hips and pelvis is doing. The answer is they're supporting us. So I lift up, there's a little squeeze at the top and come back out again. If you feel that you can put the hands here, that might offer a little bit more kind of guidance around how far to go. But if shoulders aren't ready for that, that's not critical. If shoulders aren't ready to be in that position, can you see, by the way, this is our chest stretch. Hands can stay in front. They don't have to do that. It comes up and it comes back out. Nothing changes here. My gaze stays forward, slowly in, slowly out. Seated option's the same. In sit, maybe hands on knees here. And as I lift and lengthen, you can feel how relaxed you are, because as you lift and open, the arms should just glide up with you. But actually, wherever you want them to be is okay. It's your movement. Just focus and feel that moving element we're trying to improve. Ankles to finish. Ready? I think I'm rambling. George will be on his timer. Ankles, feet and toes. Now, to a certain extent, we've already started to do these with the Circ Boost. This is even more focused. So have a look. My supporting part is nearest to my external support. And my supporting part is lift and lengthened and the knees a little bit locked. So there's actually a lot of activity going on down this side. Here's the moving part. Have a glance, if that helps. It's okay to glance down. You can still maintain this lift, but if you can, look ahead. Remember we spoke about the heaviness. The head is heavy, so it's likely to impact on some things if you start to look down, but it's important that you do, if that helps. Can you see? Here and here. I just want to add in something else about this ankle, feet and toes action here. So here is predominantly an ankle activity. You can see that I'm trying to get the toe where the heel is. So my foot is actually, unless I really extend the toes there, I'm missing a critical part of mobility. And this is why the circulation boosting action is so important, because have a look at the difference here and there. So this action here is part of that. So I want to, if I can, bring in the toes, bring in all the joints across the top of the toes, so that I'm not just taking here, but I'm taking here also, there. And you can do that via our pedal pushes as well that we've been doing. In seated, the same. Finding the ankles, feet and toes with that extra toe placement there. Or hip walk back, a little extend here. So this one does just focus on the ankles, but give your toes an extra squeeze and an extra scrunch if you can. And we're trying to get as much movement for the ankle. So if you are working towards standing activities, this one. If you're not working towards standing activities, stick with hip walking, focusing on this hitch of the hip from buttock to buttock, walking forwards or back. So really up to you whether or not improving ankle feet mobility is on your radar. That's the whole routine. That's our movement routine for the morning. What we then say is between now and lunchtime, think about how you rise from a chair and how you sit in a chair. So how many times are you likely to stand up between now and 12 o'clock? Have a hip walk forward, heels back and down. Consider driving up with a bit of oomph. Feel for the chair on the backs of the leg, and perhaps start to consider sitting a little bit slower every time you sit down. This will really optimise the strength in the legs. Or we could crowbar in a few heel raises into your daisies, or you could crowbar in some toe raises into your daisies. So it's not just about the movement snack, it's what you take from the snack and deploy into your day. That's it. That's the first one done. 15 minutes in the bag. Kels is back with you at 12. Dave back at 4. And I'll be back with you tomorrow at 8. Keep on crowbarring. If you like the song and you feel that you want to make up your own lyrics to These Are a Few of My Favourite Things, I'll be more than happy to receive them. I'll see you tomorrow at 8. Keep on crowbarring. Keep on moving, folks. Bye for now.